Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. Whenever you are reminded by yourself or from anywhere not to be busy with your mind, that remembrance itself, surrender it to. Otherwise you will be fixed in a certain shape that the remembrance has. Because we are always what is, and it's only movements of the mind, even when it wants to go back and disappear to its source. Actually, about what is, nothing happens. So feel free to, if I am not clear enough or if you are not clear for yourself, take the freedom to ask. Yeah.
Then you say that
Hello, there is a mic, I'm sorry.
then you say that the constant remembrance is a trap too.
Is what?
The constant
Yeah.
remembrance can be a trap.
It is, because you have not to remember what is. But you see, as we are individually very busy with its manifestation, being ourselves a manifestation of it, when you search, who am I in reality, it becomes part of your life, and through the investigation you will remind yourself suddenly, or by reading something, hearing something about it. So that remembrance, and you know very well what's about. So that remembrance itself is like a blessing, a spontaneous blessing, but don't stop there. Otherwise, you will feel trapped by the forgetfulness, which will surely come. So I mean to say, surrender to the direction of it, and then you see nothing happened. I am always that, in fact, and it's only movements of the mind which forgets or remembers. But it's a blessing also to remember, no doubt. And it's not even in the hand of anybody. If you searched, if you really have that fire, it will come spontaneously. Let's say it's part of the search, but you can be freed also from the search. In that way I say, surrender even that direction. Because you never, ever lost yourself.
But in the same sense, then coming to satsang can be a trap too.
I think it is the less dangerous trap ever.
But still,
I don't find it a trap. Because I don't ask you to swallow a belief. Even the remembrance, I make it a belief. Where do we go after that? Tell me now. And you know, as a human, who are we? Surely, we will feel identified sometimes. And then because we investigated, we had glimpses or whatever, we will remember. So the humans looks like wavering between remembrances and forgetfulness. But you see, if you don't stop at any movement of the mind, then suddenly you see, or if you surrender to the direction of that, you suddenly, there is an obviousness that in fact what is not personal, but it's what is. And that's always there in the sense of it's always available for the human. I don't know if I'm clear. In that sense, of course, Satsang, it's among humans. We are human. We speak of something which we cannot conceive. And yet, for some reason, that can be alive. I don't know. I zap it. Let's say that it can happen that the human don't search anymore. He will search to have more comfort, to have more comfort, pleasures and all that, but it will be relativized, you say. He will not search the real thing anymore. It's unconceivable, you know, what to do.
it's what I had in my mind.
But I just want to, because you can conceive God as unconceivable, but then God is somewhere. So in Satsang at least, it fitted my search. You cannot even conceive of God because everything is unconceivable. What is left when you don't follow your mind is just what is, and it is unconceivable by the mind of somebody. But it is not apart from what you are when you don't go to your mind. And that God, even if you want to call it, so it means it's God, but that God has no laws.
There's no loss.
Laws. Moïse had laws from God. That God,
In fact,
what is,
can you say
doesn't impose any laws, and you have not to please him. Ah, that makes a huge difference. Yes. Regulations. Here, as a human, you are free to be free. And that's possible only when you are totally absorbed by what is and what expresses itself. Wherever there is a creation you cannot help, there will be duality. So you can say hell and heaven. It's a creation which is a mirage. It is unconceivable.
Sometimes, in some sense, I know that's inconceivable, but in some sense, I know that I want to conceive it.
Yeah, that's what we always try to do. But at least have the wisdom to know, even if you conceive the best, it's just a concept. That's all. I know in this world everybody lives the life he likes, or even he doesn't like, but lives the life which is given by his birth, and he gives himself a meaning or not. That is not concerned. It is in the mirage. That itself is helpless. It cannot make its own expression one. It's only the human mind, the mind which makes separation and which makes dual, you know. In that way, one has to surrender. How can you conceive?
Then, from the point, from a mind point of view, if I remember, I'm on a trap. If I don't remember, I am in a trap too.
The trap is conceived by the mind.
I said that because I try to remember.
I said, any movement is the mind. Trap, no trap. Being, no being. Black and white, hell and heaven. Being in the mirage as somebody, of course we don't escape, we cannot escape the duality. As a movie, as a mirage. Now that very unique question which comes to a few in the mirage. What's all this? Who is God? Who am I? And all these questions. They are in the mirage. It's like, I cannot conceive, but let's say for the sake of the story, it's like a huge compassion of that to tell there is an exit, but you will no more be there. I, as the Supreme Being, only will be there. It's a good story. If I disappears as a person, is there any suffering? Is there any question, need of understanding anything?
You know, you just not see more. There's a passage on a book I read about Nisargadatta. Somebody asked him what you did, what you did to realize.
Yeah.
And the answer, so it's not his word, but more or less like that. He said, I remember the indication of my master. I always remember the indication of my master, and sometimes I remember his face. Then this it was a remember. Somehow.
He went into the direction.
He went into the
But that's why I don't think, finally, I don't see anything wrong with glimpses. Because you see, as a somebody, and if we don't die, we are in the mirage, we are in the film. Now we can, let's say, stop the so-called continuity of the film. How? By going to the direction that the remembrance gives. And then suddenly there was never anything, there was never. But as a human, the creation of that itself, when it creates this manifestation, and now we are identified with a human, he will live a life like that. He will live a life of remembrance, the direction of remembrances and of forgetfulness. But then it's no more questionable. It's no more, it doesn't give rise anymore to a search. Because in fact, you know that whatever the mind presents, it is an image, a representation, a symbol of what now you know of that. So I think we can really give up, and it is of a big relief, and it is not of a fake relief, it's a big relief to forget that as a human being we could have a life with a permanent that. No, the life is dual. It will go into glimpses and forgetfulness. But what the difference is, when you search, you feel like that already. Because the seeker was not questioned. So if by chance you suddenly are struck by, oh, there is still a seeker, means you fix the glimpse in a certain appearance, presentation. You can ask, who am I? Who is this I? Who am I? And then you are swallowed in what is ever. And the life which reappears after is exactly like before. We thought the belief that there is a seeker and you have still to search, and because you have a concept of whatever. And of course, in this life, the presentation of everyone will be extremely different. Now I take example. Why not? For example, Ramana Maharishi, he looked much more in time, absorbed in that. And for him, like for any free being, the time doesn't count, because he's never away from that. While some other being, they look like being very busy all the time, and yet it's not like that. So this is a question of destiny, of personal destinies. It's just a presentation. If you put any form, any name, it's a presentation. And you cannot get the real thing. Now, they point out to, I hope, I exactly do. Don't stop at any presentation. Let it be the sensation of permanency and so on. Surrender. Surrender. You are nobody to know. You are nobody to know. I feel I am not clear, and yet I am very clear. It's because it's unconceivable, you see. It's...
I took it as clear. Maybe...
Okay, great. So, we can stop here. I just give an example. I can say, my experience just now, I am absorbed in that, okay? I'm absorbed, as you can also feel that. I am very lucky, and I wish you the same luck, not to take the absorption for it, because you never left what is. You are what is. So all this absorption, and because it's an experience, it will look differently later. If you take the absorption for it, you will be fucked, because then, when it goes, then you will feel, oh, I lost it, or I am no more it. You see, it's the mind, which has the touch of this blessing of that, which is as a movement of going back to its source. But actually, it's the mind, it's the life of the mind. You're absorbed, and then again there, and then again here. Don't confuse the play of the mind for it. And maybe it helps more, but it's not the only way. When you are absorbed, ask, who am I to be absorbed? And then you may see, oh, even the absorption is an experience of somebody in the mirage. But you can't help. The human being will live like this. You can't help. But you are no more fooled. Not as an I. Okay, I cannot go farther than this, and it's okay. Be freed from any explanation.
Everything you said, I think I take it, more or less.
I don't understand anything.
Everything you said, I think, somehow I take it. There's one thing I stop. One word I stop is wait. There's one word you said in all this that I stop. I feel like a knot in the heart.
And why do you follow your mind here? Why do you follow your mind? As if the one who has a mind will ever conceive what is. You have to disappear.
Yes, but it was why I was trying to say that. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's much better.
The word you said is like completely release it.
Okay, great. Then let's be
But
relieved.
in me it creates like a knot.
If not, be relieved from if. The mind cannot figure it out. And you will go on and try till the I is there as somebody. I cannot help. He wants to understand. He wants to be clear. He wants to be free. He wants to be happy, loved. As long as I, as somebody, is here, forget it. You will not attain it. Just drop it. And let that do whatever it likes of you. And you see, when I am identified, I forget all that. That's why I'm identified. Then I'm no more identified. All this is the play of the mind, the play of the creation. You can't help. So.
Hi, Marie. Thank you. After contemplating the words you just said, it feels a bit strange to ask you this because I don't know who's asking this question and who's going to receive the answer, actually. So it's really dualistic, I don't know, but I still want to ask. It was actually in the first sentence and all the words that came after you said the play of remembering and forgetting, but even what comes before is the attitude to want to be able to remember, and intention, like the words like I want to be aware of myself, which is all seen. Is this also for you the case that you have that display of
I don't care, it comes spontaneously or not. I don't care.
So it's just keep quiet, and I just want to know if there's just no person identified, or it just doesn't happen for you at all.
I am totally identified in this world.
Mm.
That's what I try to say. This world remains dual. The appearance remains dual. Now, it's true, it's a very strange, unique question. Who am I? It's like one suddenly wants to know, but is there only that? And then with this investigation, while it disappears, he sees there is not only that. Actually, that is only the expression of that. I don't know what to say, but anyway, so one speaks like this in the mirage again, in the... So what? And I tell you, if you have a question, of course it's somebody in the movie with a question.
Yeah.
Yes, even if he knows or he got a glimpse of himself, it is still somebody who asks a question. So be more sure that whatever is presented, it's the creation of that. It's its own creation. But that doesn't make a difference, doesn't make it dual, doesn't make a difference between what is and what is expressed. It's only the human in the expression, in the creation, which makes a difference. Once you know that, you're done. Basta. You don't want to speak? I don't know your name. Yes, you don't want to speak? Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yes, my name is Abraham.
Stephen?
Abraham.
Abraham, oh my God. He came back?
Yeah, and I don't like what I see too much. I was thinking about dualism and oneness, and that the dualism is a mirage. But,
Oneness too. Oneness too.
yes, but I'm sometimes I feel like they're almost one, like that the oneness and the dualism are in an interaction, like a play that is the sweetness of life, because as we're going through our roles in life, if we're connected to oneness and we're really in that, and we're committed to that, and we see that in the other people, we're reminding ourselves that we're all one, and yet we're all playing out our roles. So I find a lot of sweetness.
It's a blessing. It's a blessed life, sure. Still in the life. Huh? Okay.
And so it makes me, sometimes I feel like in the Advaita tradition there's a lot of absorption in the oneness, but sometimes like a negation of the play of the
Yeah, but
lila.
they are temporary absorptions. You have that freedom, to be absorbed. But it's all temporary because it is in the life. Now, why?
I get it has to be temporary because we're in a material body. Like
That's
now
what I
I'm
say. That's
dealing
what
with the person who's closest to me has had cancer for 15 years, and so I've been very aware. I've been ready. I've been realizing how fleeting that life is, and that I don't think of it as stable.
I agree. All what you speak about, with the blessing also to have this experience of oneness or absorption, it's in the life, it happens to somebody. Now I ask you, who are you? Who is this I, in fact? What is it? The answer will be when you even make your knowledge or your experiences fade away, when you allow them. Then you will see, oh, all that is in the mirage, even oneness. And that's why it is temporary, that's why nothing is permanent. Even in oneness, even though in oneness we speak of eternity, but it stops also to give place to time, and so on. Blessed life, as a human you cannot wish much more.
So even the awareness that we have of the oneness is still
In the
within the
mirage.
fleeting.
It is in the mirage.
And I think in a way that helps me to appreciate what is here now. Like I said, because this person...
I totally agree, it's a blessing. It's a blessing in life. Now, if you believe that only with this experience of oneness you are in truth, then you will be normally, it doesn't look with you, but normally one is in trouble, one is again in its opposite, in the activities, in the mind, identification and duality. So that trouble is a fake trouble, because in fact none of the two we're real, it is the expression of what's real, so it's real too. But then one doesn't confuse an aspect of it, let's say the eternity, the absorption in that, for it. All that is an expression of something else we don't know, but we are it. That's why we cannot objectify it. So it objectifies itself all the time. Don't confuse the objectification for it, that's all. Then you are freed from search, you are freed from search. And beliefs, freed from search and freed from the bondage of beliefs. You will still have beliefs in this world, of course, but freed from its hypnotism or tyranny. That's a big thing.
Sometimes I feel like the way to unity, to understanding unity in this world is through empathy for my fellow beings.
You found your way, you see. You found your way. So what is the but?
But I understand that the experiences that many are going through is because they're completely unaware of the oneness. And they are, but I don't want to judge that either.
Even the one who experiences oneness can undergo very, very challenging things in life, and they can suffer. That's why I repeat, but I don't think you get it when I ask you, but who are you? Because you see, if you are if you for a moment you forget what you know and forget all what the experiences gave you as a vision of life, which is a blessing in a way. It's your way to live, it's beautiful, you are lucky in a way. But you will have always a but, you see, if you confuse what is where there is nobody, looks, there is nobody there, or it contains all the bodies. Do you see something there?
I think when I was saying when I have
Empathy, yeah.
I'm still in the illusion because I know that we're all one and beyond all the suffering that people also put on themselves. And so but I don't want to feel sorry for people because they don't seem to understand. You know, and I don't want to put myself in that position of judging. So it's still like a game even when I'm cultivating empathy. And so I'm feeling like what you're talking about is maybe the way to rise above, or to transcend all of this. That even empathy and serving others.
Yeah, all that is your way. You find your way to live. To live well according to your ethics, ideals, in your own personal life. Nothing wrong with that. We need to do that. I mean, we need to give a goal somehow to live well, to live. But who are you? That's the question. I'm very happy you see that. Now you see that, you see? So from where you see that, don't search for it, keep quiet. That's all I can suggest. But it's not somebody who keeps quiet, otherwise you fall again in the oneness, I guess.
I feel like the oneness is where is the real ultimate truth.
No, that's what I tried to tell you.
And what
It's an aspect of it. It's like, you see, a river doesn't exist if there is no bed. There is no bed of a river if there is no river. Okay? It's like this. Oneness is the bed of the river. And generally we say duality is black and white and heaven and hell and all that. But duality can be also, it is the absolute and the hell and heaven flowing. You see? Ah.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Because
okay.
I think it's what I was saying is that transcendent bed of the river.
No, the bed is in the relative world. Now, from where do you speak about all that? There you are it. And when you speak about that, you speak in this way. Bed, oneness, duality, flow, life, and so on. But what is actually, which creates all that, this is impossible to say something more than these dual things. It cannot be in that way objectified.
So I feel like I could be in that reality or have the vision of that and still in a way live by a law, and to be free and live by a law, because in my material life I have ethical standards and ways, believing in being a friendly person, believing in helping people, concerned about the world, the environment, all of that is good, but I know that it's part of that mirage, and so I do it with first of all, not some law that's imposed upon, but what's real for me, and then I don't believe in it. I believe I'm doing it, but that's the ultimate reality is beyond that.
Okay, so you do your things without being a doer.
Exactly.
Okay, great. After all, you are maybe Abraham. So you see, I'm very happy I forced you to speak. I was feeling there's so much to tell and you were not telling.
Sometimes I'm reticent to step up and grab the mic, yes. And so thank you for seeing that, because I was ruminating on things. Thank you.
No, it's very fluid now.
I have a question about the question, who am I?
Okay.
Because I start to see more and more that every time I have an experience that in the past I thought is it, I can still put the question, who am I? So that is
Absolutely.
sort of what I start to see.
Yes, great.
But also...
So now you keep quiet from where you see that. And if you don't keep quiet, you say, oh, who doesn't keep quiet, who am I? what? Then what? No. And know that if you ask who am I, it's because you go back to your mind. It's a blessing in this life to have that tool, that gave that tool. Who am I? It's unique. Maybe that's compassion in this world. It gives you moments of remembrances of something else than objects that is in your mirage. And in mine. But you see, I don't feel obliged to say who am I, because I trust so much that it will spontaneously remind me. It does whatever with my life, with your life, with everybody's life. Yeah, please. Get there.
Hello, Ganga.
Hi.
I don't have a question, but I want to still to speak somehow, because I reached this satsang, and so I would like to speak.
A little.
Yeah, right. So, there's sometimes a loop where the mind takes me on a ride, and it can take an hour, 2 hours, or days,
Only.
or a week. Yeah, I don't, or longer than I don't see, but maybe a week. And if it's the everyday, being busy every day, that's okay. Then all of a sudden, it's just the mind. It's just all the stuff, everything is in the mind, everything. And it's a little bit harder if it's about the subject, or I hear a satsang, but after a while I just leave it. I don't want to solve it.
To solve the satsang?
No, the doubt or what I carry, or this wave of mind. I get exhausted after a week, and I realize these are just thoughts again.
Yeah. Right.
So.
What a good life.
Actually, it is a blessing to
You are lucky enough.
sorry.
You are lucky enough. If you see how precious it is. How precious it is. Now tell me, in the life, the best bottle of wine, whiskey, brandy, water, the best substance possible, is it as precious as that?
No, nothing.
And for those who are more spiritual, I would say the best ecstasy, the best bliss, the best knowledge, Satchit Ananda, is it as precious as this? But we can be very good and joyous, you know. There is no shame. We enjoy the creation. And because we can enjoy fully, we suffer fully too. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Thank you.